Good morning, YouTube fans. This is Luke with Luke Big Rig Moto. Just checking in, about to go for a ride. Got a couple things cooking today. My brother-in-law said, why don't you take my bike to New Mexico and see how it does? So we've got the 2023 KLR 650 over there getting warmed up. And about to hit the road. Nice sunshiny morning. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I figured I'd try to get some time in today. I'll check back with you in a minute when we're on the road. Alright. Kind of a cool morning this morning. Temperatures, I think, in the 50s. But we're going to go for a ride. In my other videos, I keep talking about wanting to get the first section of the New Mexico BDR in. I'm hoping today's today. Not sure how loud this will be. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. But yeah, I'm gonna try to take a cross-country route from Alamogordo to Del City, Texas, and start the New Mexico BDR. So I'll try to keep you posted along the way. Been wanting to try to get this section of the BDR knocked out now. I was a little nervous about doing it on my XR400 because I don't have a long fuel range. And I brought my NC700 out here last time I was out here, and that just doesn't handle very well on the washboard. I mean, it handles okay, but it just doesn't ride very nice. It kind of beats you half to death while you're bouncing down the roads. So I was telling my brother-in-law about it, and he said, why don't you take my KLR, try it out. So we're gonna put the KLR out there today and see how it does. Went riding last weekend with my brother-in-law, and we switched back and forth a couple times, and the KLR sure is a lot smoother on some of the sharp bumps and stuff. So I'm thinking this is going to be a pretty nice bike for the kind of riding I want to do today. But a good section of the trail I haven't seen yet too, so we'll see. But you know, these KLRs are just kind of a all-around nice bike. Not necessarily the fastest thing in the world, or maybe the most capable off-road, but just kind of a pretty good all-around bike for a little bit of everything. So I do like his mirrors better than mine. They got a little longer arms on them, and I can see past my shoulders, which is kind of nice. This is the 2023 model with the ABS. I'm not sure what I think about ABS yet. I've never had it on a bike, so I'll play with that a little bit today too, kind of let you know what I think. I think on the road it's definitely something that's kind of nice. If you get in a situation where all of a sudden you gotta stop, you can pretty much pile on the brakes and it's gonna do the best you can do. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure how well it'll be off-road, but there's a new Maverick here in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Just popped up here a month or so ago, and come on, dude. Anyway, kind of like the Maverick. It's a nice gas station. Don't really have them in Texas, so see some of my friends on YouTube. I say friends. Some of the people I watch on YouTube go to a lot of Mavericks, so it's kind of fun to check one out. They've got good breakfast burritos. But pretty much a gas station's a gas station, but I guess some are nicer than others. There's the mountains there in the background. It's cold up there. Last week when I went up there, I tried to ride through on some woods roads, and I found a bunch of ice and snow, and that was kind of enough for me. Like I said, I'm not too crazy about going out and trying to get hurt just to make a video. We got about 20 or 30 miles on this highway, and then we get off-road. My brother-in-law put a little windshield riser on here. We played with that a little bit. It's pretty decent right through here. You get some pretty good wind up on top, but it's kind of hitting me on the top of the helmet. It's pretty clean though. It's not like it's shaking my helmet real bad. It could be a little wider probably, but not terrible. Like I said, a lot warmer than my XR400, but that doesn't have anything on the front. Not a huge fan of the tires that are on here. They still have some tread left, but they're not a super aggressive tire to start with. But I think it's been pretty dry, so I don't think we're going to be too bad. I think after some rain, part of the roads I'm going to go on today could probably be a little interesting, but I'm thinking today it shouldn't be too bad. We'll see. There's Red Sands off-road park up here too. When I drove by it last week, it looked like the gate was shut. We might swing in there just to look at that for a second. Well, I drove by it, so I turned around and come in. It looks like the gate's open. And I'm thinking I maybe just looked at the wrong gate last time I was here, or drove by. But this is the Red Sands OHV trails and stuff. I've seen some YouTube videos of these. Looks like somebody's got an RV out here. Kind of a neat place. Lots of parking. Yeah, I don't know about the ABS brakes. I mean, you slow down, I guess. Just kind of weird. Yeah, good old sand. Well, I guess now I can say I stopped and checked it out. Obviously there's a lot more here than just this little bit I'm doing, but it's not really what I was wanting to do today, so I'll get back out there on the road. And one difference I do notice with this bike compared to the Honda XR 700 is they're about the exact same weight on paper, and yet this one feels a lot heavier when you stop. The center of gravity must be a lot lower on the NC 700. Its ground clearance is a lot less too, and when you're moving, this one's like no problem kicking around like this, like, you know, no big deal. But just sitting still, you know, you start leaning the bike a little bit one way or the other, and it feels heavy pretty quick. But yeah, this is I guess, I don't know if it's county road or what kind of road, but 506. And if you take this far enough, it goes all the way over to Weed, New Mexico. So I just remembered I was going to reset the trip meter, so I just did that now. Alright, here we go. On the gravel now. Definitely a lot smoother than the NC 700. Even when I get into the pretty big washboards. So far, I'm really liking this KLR on this road. I'm cruising along at 50 and it doesn't even feel like it. Feels like I'm going 20 or 30, so pretty happy about that. And this road gets worse over further when you get into some washes. You get some pretty big rock and stuff, but I mean, I don't know if you can tell on the camera from me bouncing around, but this road is not very smooth, so especially where it's cutting in and out of asphalt, there's some pretty good bumps and washouts. Hopefully I don't get any pinch flats. But I did bring a spare tube, so I hope I don't need it, but I got one with me. So, well, little change here. I headed a little different direction than I've been before. I went by a sign a little bit ago. It says 59 miles to Del City, Texas. So, kind of exciting. Just been cruising these dirt roads. You know, some people would argue that this is off-road or this is on-road or whatever. Either way, I'm pretty happy with how this ride is going so far. Here I am cruising 55, 60 miles an hour, and this is just a dirt road. It's not the smoothest road, that's for sure. But this section is actually maybe a little bit better than what it was before. But I know that in certain areas it can get worse pretty quick, so I'm kind of watching for that. And yeah, just out here enjoying this fresh air, sun shining on me. Sure, I'm glad that I'm riding this KLR 650 instead of the Honda NC700X. I do really like that Honda, and I've been watching a bunch of videos, and you know, they're just not as popular in the off-road world. A little bit of change in scenery all of a sudden. We're kind of in a field here, but you can see the mountains over there. Well, I can see them. I don't know if you can, but I don't know. I really like it out here. Just peaceful. Driving out here reminds me of watching Western movies. Makes you think about back when people started settling out here and they got out here on a horse and maybe a wagon and started their life out here in the prairie. Kind of hanging around 4,500 to 5,000 feet most of this ride so far. I don't know exactly what the temperature is. Onyx says it's 57, but sometimes it seems like that's pretty close, and sometimes it seems like it's way off, so it's hard to know. I don't believe that the display on the bike has any kind of temperature readout on it. It's a pretty basic display. We've gone 30 miles almost since we got off the blacktop. Doesn't really seem like it. It's been going pretty smooth so far. Yeah, those mountains are just beautiful, the way the light hits them. I don't know if that'll come out in the picture or not, but slow down here a little bit. I kind of like to be able to see when I'm trying to drive through a little better. I don't need to come into a blind corner and go over a hill and need to go around a corner while I'm going 60 miles an hour and slide off the road. Not exactly what I want to do today. Don't think my brother-in-law would appreciate me wrecking his bike. Pretty cool of him to let me take it out here. My wife wasn't real nuts on the idea, but me and my brother-in-law have gone back and forth on a lot of stuff. He knows that if something happens, I'll make it right, and he was just as excited about finding out how it does out here as I was. And you know, maybe one of these days we'll be able to make a long weekend out of it and get him out here, and we'll go run this ride together. Not entirely sure when I get so after the first part of the BDR, it goes into the Guadalupe Mountains, and I don't think those are quite as high elevation as up here by Cloudcroft, but I'm not sure if there's going to be snow and ice up there or not either, and that might be a game changer. I'm not about to try to ride on ice. Not sure which video will get up first, but I had a little bit of experience on some ice on my last video attempt, and I went a little further than I should have, and then I lost control and I ended up setting the bike down. No real big damage or anything, but still not something I want to do again. Could have been a lot worse. I was taking it pretty easy and, you know, trying to be careful, but sometimes you can kind of get past where you should have turned around already, and I tend to find myself doing that more often than I would like to. It's like there's a little voice in the back of my head saying, oh, just go a little further, it'll get better. And then, oh, you don't need to turn around, you can find a way through it. So, I need to learn when I start start hearing that voice, I should turn around. But hopefully I'll figure that out before I learn the hard way. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have to listen to that voice later today. But we'll see. Even if I have to turn around and come back this way, that'd still be a fun ride, so I'm not really complaining. Pretty excited to have the opportunity to spend some time out here on a bike. I don't think I've said already, I'm a traveling nurse. Have been now for about 2 years, a little over 2 years. And I took a contract out here in Alamogordo, New Mexico, and I had met another travel nurse when I took a contract last year out in Carlsbad, New Mexico. And at that point in time, I didn't have a motorcycle. And man, the whole time I was out there, I was wishing I had a motorcycle just to go cruise around in some BLM land. There's some sand dunes and stuff out there too, and I was really wishing I had a motorcycle while I was out there. And that's actually what kind of inspired me, I guess, or put the little, you know, spark back into wanting to get a bike again. So here I am a year later, and now I've got a couple different bikes. I got a couple little Honda 50s for my girls, and I got a Honda XR 100 I picked up for me and my wife to play around on, and then I ended up picking up that XR 400, and I made that one street legal, and kind of started me into this adventure of trying to do adventure motorcycle riding, I guess, or you know, kind of some off-road stuff. I've definitely gotten in over my head a couple times on the off-road stuff with the dirt bike. Not really a motocross rider, but I do enjoy getting out here and seeing this beautiful country. Well, I definitely agree with some of the other reviews I've seen on the KLR 650. You can go buy it, and you can get on it, and you can go have an adventure, and you don't really have to even do anything to it. This one's stock. It's got these little deflector handguard things. From the factory. They're not really like crash guard or anything, but they're wind deflectors, which on a colder day like today is kind of nice. Doesn't really have much of a skid plate, so I'm going to be a little careful about that, but it does have you know, dual purpose tires on it, I guess you could say. Windscreen, and man, even the stock seat is pretty comfortable. I've seen some people have seat concept seats on them, which I'm sure are a little bit better. I really like my seat concept seat on my XR 400. But man, you know, there's so many things the person wants to buy or get into when you get into a bike, and that's where the capability for the money on this bike is pretty good, because pretty sure this bike was around 5,500 MSRP. Not exactly sure what he was out the door, but I know it was discounted a little bit when he bought it off of MSRP, and I think it was at 5,500. So, you know, 5, 6, even 7 grand. You buy it, and instead of having to go spend another 2 or 3 grand on a bunch of stuff to try to make it go off-road, you can just jump on it and ride it. Well, I think I might back here in a little bit if I see something else interesting. And okay, if nothing else, I'll bring you back when I get to Del City. But my guess is I'll see something cool between here and there, and I'll bring you back for it. So, well, I brought you back. I don't know how much this you'll be able to see on camera, but I thought this was a pretty cool view when I crested this hill, so I thought I'd stop and try to show you. Pretty cool. I think those are the Guadalupe Mountains in the background there. And then, I don't know how well you can see my phone. And that red dotted line, that's actually the New Mexico BDR. So those X's right there, I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah. So those X's are Del City, and then that red line goes over into the Guadalupe Mountains. So those got to be the Guadalupe Mountains, I would think. Kind of exciting. Almost getting to my starting point. So got a little further to go here yet. I was thinking about just cutting off and going here, but I want to go check out the Del City and fill up with gas, because I don't want to be pushing it. This is Brown something hill. I don't know what that says. But anyway. Oh. And ABS. You know, here's some loose rocks. And just the back tire. If you're going pretty slow, it's not too bad. I mean, I don't know what to think. I mean, it stops. I think it does keep you from wiping out. Like, that's the back brake. Just the back brake. It didn't slide sideways on me really too bad. And this is a little bit off camber besides downhill. But it's really weird to me to not have it lock up the back tire. Like, I'm just so used to that, like on my dirt bike. But you know, takes a long time to stop, but I'm not crashing either. Here's the front brakes. That's squeezing everything they got. And never really slid the tire. Now let's try both brakes at the same time. Stopped a lot faster. But I think my biggest worry is, like, in a situation I had gotten myself into on my dirt bike, which I would not want to take this down that hill, but I was on a hill that was basically a wash coming off the mountain, and it was super steep, and I had everything I could do to keep my bike from just taking off down that hill. And I don't know what this would do in a situation like that. Could you keep it going slow enough? Would it stop you? Or would it just take off down the hill and, you know, it's not going to slide and it's not going to stop and you're just going to go faster and faster? So, just not really sure how well that would actually do. Well, I brought you back. I'm just coming into Del City, I believe. So I thought I'd turn it on and bring you along with me. I can see what looks like a town in the distance there a little bit. blacktop. Kind of forgot what that was like. So 70 miles an hour. Look at that. We're in Texas now, I bet. But no, I was saying earlier how this bike can do, you know, 75, 80 if you wanted to. But right now I'm going into a little bit of a headwind, and I can tell a difference. You know, it just doesn't quite have the pickup that it does when you're not driving into a big headwind. But I mean, we're still going 70, 75, I guess. Just gotta squeeze it a little harder to get there, that's all. Miles an hour. Del City. Let's see. Population 220. There you go. Just in case you were wondering. Lots of side-by-sides sitting around. There's a dirt bike. $35 miles an hour. Ooh, there's a nice old Ford truck. Yeah, that's one thing about being out here in the desert. Some of these old vehicles that are preserved just amaze me. I grew up in Wisconsin, and stuff that was 5 to 10 years old was full of rust. There's no such thing as old vehicles laying outside that aren't full of rust. So, alright, what do we got here? Couple little stores. There's the grocery store. Let's see. Should be a gas station around here somewhere. I might have to. Oh, there it is. Well, welcome to Del City, Texas. Little fire truck. Well, I'll probably bring you back here in a little bit. Go ahead and get some gas. Alright, 2.5 gallons, just over 104 miles. Go ahead and reset that trip meter. And then we were about 68, 70 miles from when we got off of Blacktop before. So 104 divided by 2.4, 43. I was kind of surprised the prices here aren't too bad. I don't know if you can see that on there, but $4.33 for diesel, $3.09 for gas. I was kind of surprised. I think we're gonna see what else we can find here in town. I think there's that little convenience store up here. We might go check that out here. See if we can get a bite to eat or something. 2 T's, grocery and beer. Well, if I drank beer, maybe that would be fun. Well, just got done having a little bite to eat here at the 2 T's grocery store and beer. Neat little store here. And had a quesadilla that was just awesome. Really hit the spot. So, here we are. About to start the New Mexico BDR. It's a moment I've been waiting for a while. So, I guess let's get started. I see the mountains in the background. I'm ready to go see how far we can get. Got my maps going. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Beginning of the New Mexico BDR. The moment I've been waiting for quite a while here. Really grateful to my brother-in-law for letting me use his bike. I think my XR400 probably would have did okay, but I was a little nervous about being out here in the middle of nowhere, not having enough fuel to get to the next fuel stop. So here we are on the KLR 650 with a full tank of gas. I can probably go close to 250 miles with this. And I got about 160 or so to the next gas station. So here we go. Got a little blacktop section here. And then it turns into dirt here in a couple miles. I'll bring you back when we hit the dirt. Look at those mountains, though. Isn't that just amazing? Pavement ends. It's a sign everybody's watching for, right? Here we go. The sun is shining. The wind is blowing. And it's not raining. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so glad I'm out here today and making a go at this. Gonna be pretty curious to see if can make it to the make it up through the mountains, if there's gonna be any snow up there or not. So a little nervous about that, but won't know until we try, right? So we'll get on up there and try. So this video would be nice if I could figure out how to talk on camera, wouldn't it? Ooh, a little squirrely here. You slow down a little bit. Oh, this is, I remember this corner coming in here. And that one was snuck up on with him too. Yeehaw! Gotta say, I'm having less and less of a reason not to like these KLR 650s. This thing does what I ask it to. I'm not sure why. I've never really cared for these bikes. This is a very capable bike. Here I am cruising 60 miles an hour down a rough dirt road with loose gravel. And we just are boogieing on down the road here. About 100 miles into my day today driving this thing, and I'm still comfortable. Seat is pretty nice. suspension handles these bumps pretty decent. No, it's not a high performance off-road bike, and no, it's not the fastest bike out there, and you know, but can you come out and have fun on it? Absolutely. Is it going to do what you ask it to do? Sure does. So, pretty stoked about this trip. It'll be kind of a race against time here. See if I can get back to the Cloudcroft area by dark. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in New Mexico. I don't know if you can see the screen on the bike. It says it's almost 2 o'clock, but it's still set for Central Standard Time, and so it's an hour off. But oh, the road's got a little bit of sand mixed into it here. That's what every corner brings, a little bit of a new texture or a new challenge. And is this a hard road to ride? No, it's not terribly hard. You have to pay attention a little bit to what you're doing. Yeah. And I'm not an expert rider by any means, but that's part of what I want this channel to represent. I'm a farm kid, grew up on a farm in Wisconsin, and I'm not a motocross expert, I'm not an adventure rider expert. I'm just a guy who loves motorcycles and loves going out to see new things and experiences. And here I am on a motorcycle doing just that. So if you like that kind of thing, stay tuned and I'll bring you along the way here. Well, we're back here. Just thought I'd talk to you a little bit. Some of the different things I'm seeing on the road here. We go from hard pack and not a lot of loose stuff to hard pack with loose little stuff on top to some bigger rocks, like 3 inches or so, kind of washed out, big bumpy stuff. Kind of a mix. Keeps you on your toes a little bit. And kind of just wide open spaces here. I think here in a little bit we'll be turning off this road. We'll see what the next one brings. Road changed a little bit again. We're back to some of the bigger rough stuff. I think this road might be a little bit less traveled than the last one, but still not too bad. This road's kind of fun. Got some ups and downs and curves, and probably should slow down for this one. Yeah. Still getting a little bit used to this bike too. Not sure it matters what bike I'm on. I'm sure they're pretty much all more capable than I am as a rider. But this bike has done everything I've asked it to do today so far. And pretty happy with that. The those mountains is just awesome. Camera's probably not going to do it justice, but it's just the color and the layers and the clouds and the sky and the mountains and the shadows. I don't know, it just all adds up to a beautiful picture. Look at that, there's some cows. Oh, figured I would bring you back, try to clean the dust off the screen. Found a little bit of pavement out here. Not sure how long this section lasts, but I thought I'd let you know. There's a little bit of pavement. And yeah, kind of cool. By somebody's house, a handful of cows out there. I guess it shouldn't be a surprise, but for some reason I didn't think people still lived out here in places like this, so remote. Makes me think of, you know, the Wild West, when cowboys and horses and like all the Western movies a person watches. I guess not being from this area, you just don't think about this still being a way of life for some people. I like how the clouds are over the mountains up there. It's pretty cool. Well, still riding. We're about 40 miles since we left Del City, and just thought I'd try to bring you in for a little closer view of these mountains. I think I'm getting pretty close to coming around the end of the Guadalupe Mountains, and then I think we go up on top, but I don't know for sure. We'll see. It's a little chilly, not too terrible. Been pretty much the same type of dirt road, you know, throwing a couple of curveballs at you once in a while, but pretty much the same kind of road. Been a little more curvy, I guess. Some ups and downs, but still a lot of fun. And we'll see. Like I said before, I'm a little nervous if there's snow and ice up there or not. I tried to do a little bit of looking into that, but didn't really get very far with it, so we'll find out when we get up there. Well, I think I'm getting fairly close to the end of the dogleg here in Dogleg Canyon. Saw a sign for Dogleg Canyon Park. Said no services, and this road got a little more interesting, so I slowed down a little bit, so I thought I'd bring you back. taking it all in here. It's pretty beautiful out here. Huh, I see an RV. Well, it had to be a bumpy ride to get an RV out here. This bike ride's pretty smooth and I'm getting bounced around. Some of these rocks are kind of sketchy. I don't know how well comes through on the video. There's a fifth wheel RV over there. Let's see. Maybe that puts a little perspective on how big the mountain is. Every once in a while the front tire picks up a rock and throws it at my foot. I think it's just trying to make sure I'm still awake. Which may be a relative concern, I don't know. Sketchy. Not too bad, just a little rough. Surprised I haven't seen more wildlife. I've seen some cows. I don't know if that really counts as wildlife, but I have been kind of paying attention to where I'm driving too, so maybe I just missed stuff, but just kind of half expected there would be some, I don't know, coyotes or something. But still early yet, I guess. They can probably hear me coming. Time to turn the other way. 5,400 feet elevation. Blacktop. I don't know if I go on the blacktop or not. Del City, El Paso, Carlsbad. So, I do remember having been on this road. Yeah, Dog Canyon Campground, 6 miles. Let's see. It's 2:30. That's going to go through the canyon. It's not going to go up on top of the mountain. I'm thinking we should go to Dog Canyon Campground. Sit down and have a cup of coffee. 6 miles. Why not, right? I would enjoy a little bit of smooth blacktop for a minute anyway. My guess is if I do end up with a Super Tenere, we'll do a fair amount of road riding. This is the kind of thing, having a little bit of extra fuel is nice if you feel like checking something out along the way. Go check it out. Don't have to worry about running out of fuel. I'm a little bit concerned about running out of daylight, so I don't want to waste up too much time today. Clouds are just kind of covering over the mountains like a blanket. It's kind of cool. Sure which way I needed to go. Oh look, Onyx even dropped, not Onyx, but BDR dropped a pin at Dog Canyon Park as a point of interest. climb it, but it doesn't like it. Oop, here we go again. We're climbing a fair bit of elevation too. Went up 500 feet in the last little bit. Which is probably why it's starting to get cold. Probably part of why it's a little harder going bike. I can't imagine living out here. It's just so cool. This is the Mexico-Texas border. Reduce speed ahead. Oh, look, look. Oh, that's awesome. We finally got to see some wildlife. Guadalupe Mountains National Park. No hunting or collecting of any plants, animals, or minerals. Entering a fee area. Pay at the visitor center. Trailhead ahead. I think it would be really cool if there was a way to drive through this from the other side, but I don't think there is. Oh, there's a car here. Authorized personnel only. Alright, sorry I cut you off there. I ended up talking to the park ranger here for a little bit. She was super nice, and we visited for a few minutes. Then I sat down, had a little cup of coffee, and now I'm ready to get on with our voyage here. Very beautiful here. If it wasn't supposed to rain tomorrow, and I had camping gear with me, I would be wanting to camp right now, but that's okay. We'll mosey on down the road here. Oh, there's a deer. Huh. Very pretty out here. A little chilly too. We're at 6,000 feet. So we'll see. This ride might get a little cold before it gets warm again, but that's alright. 6,000 feet ish. I don't know that it gets much higher than that out here. Ooh, 4-stroke 67. Looks like that's our turn after the UPS truck though. Well, been coming down that dirt road for a little while. It's actually pretty nice. It looks like it kind of crested on the other side here a little bit. So I thought I'd bring you back, show you. Still hovering around 6,000 feet or so. If I remember right, I looked it up and that's about what this mountain range is through here. See, this looks like a little spot that I could maybe get a little closer to the edge and give you a look. Kind of cool. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't want to do some of the stuff I did on my dirt bike on this. But I wouldn't have wanted to do what I did on this today on my dirt bike. I should start saving my pennies and see if I can just go buy a Honda Transel. Don't really have 10 grand laying around though. But I think that would be a heck of a bike. I think it would be just as capable as this off-road. And I think it would have a little more power, be smoother, and be a lot more capable on-road. So, I don't know, we'll see. Alright, well, let's see. What do we do up here? Trying to keep making tracks, I think, or run out of daylight. I'm glad that this road is pretty nice. I remember being on some stuff up here that wasn't all that nice with my truck. didn't have Onyx off-road at that time. I only had Onyx Hunt, which highlights all the trails, but it doesn't really distinguish which one's worth going on or not. But it all worked out. Well, still going down this little dirt road. It got kind of crappier. It's quite a bit rougher than what it was. I've been going a lot slower. But it's pretty foggy up here, and I'm getting close to the end of my daylight. Still got quite a ways to go yet, but I thought I'd record some more. Still pretty excited to be doing the New Mexico BDR. Just had to read the sign there for a minute. I hope my road got better again. It's not. It's the worst one. Oh well. Just take it easy. It's pretty up here. Should take a look at that sunset over there. I don't know that you can see as good with the camera, but very pretty. Sometimes this bike doesn't seem to idle down as much as I'm used to with my dirt bike, as far as like engine braking down the hills a little bit. And I don't know, maybe I just need to grab a lower gear, but it doesn't seem to back off as hard as mine does. Not the end of the world, just something to get used to. But yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna make it to Weed before it's dark, but if not, that's okay. I might even just cut across, not go up on the mountain, just cut across to where I came in. We'll see. But super awesome to get this section of the BDR under my belt. Pretty happy with it so far. There are some spots that are kind of rough, but that's alright. I hope you enjoyed coming along, seeing some of the stuff. Camera probably doesn't quite do it justice, but I don't know exactly what the temperature is up here, but it's a little chilly. I stopped and added another layer, which actually helped it quite a bit. Plus I slowed down a little bit, which kind of little tower over there. I'm not sure what that is. Probably used to be like a windmill or something. Or maybe that's a... Oh, it's an oil rig. Huh. I wonder if the road will get better then. Would have been kind of nice if the weather wasn't going to turn to crap tonight and tomorrow. I would have liked to try to camping somewhere, but that's alright. Maybe next time. About 100 miles since we left Weed. I mean, not Weed, Del City. So, if I remember right, that means I got another 60 to go to get to Weed. So, ran into another person out here. There's a guy in a pickup truck with his dog coming through here. That's the first person I've seen so far today, actually, like on part of the trail. But this is probably kind of off season for most of this stuff. So yeah, I just thought I'd bring it back for a little bit, show you the sunset, and we'll see what I end up doing for going home. I'll probably bring you back here and let you know at least once I get back or something. So we'll catch you in a little bit. Well, made it back from last night. Ended up finishing up in the dark, and got everything all loaded up, ready to head back to Texas. So KLR did great, didn't leave me stranded, so I'm happy about that. Part of the reason I wanted to borrow this bike to do this trip. And yeah, it did really good. Ended up only using about 4 gallons of gas to go all the way from Del City, Texas to Alamogordo up through Cloudcroft and everything. So I didn't even have to go to the gas station up there, which was good because it was closed by the time I got there. But anyway, did really good. Really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, hopefully get some more riding in this weekend.